Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And in this one, I wanted to talk about something or some things that will just never ever happen in Call of Duty, no matter how much we wish it or no matter how much we fantasize about it. So, a couple days ago or whatnot, I had a video that was lucky enough to get posted on TSG, and this commentary for the topic of today's video takes me back to my very first TSG video, and I'll find it and I'll put a link in the description for those of you guys that haven't seen it or are interested in seeing it. The gameplay for that one was Black Ops 2. It was actually my best Black Ops 2 gameplay ever on TDM, and it was actually more recent. I saved it. Well, actually not that recent, but I ended up saving it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm saving this one for something special someday. You never know. I guess in the back of my mind, I always wanted to post on TSG. And then, lo and behold, fast forward a year later after that gameplay, I got my first video posted up on TSG. It's really a surreal experience. But the topic that I used for that one is somewhere along the lines of what if Activision sold Call of Duty? Now, that is one thing that we can pretty much guarantee that will never happen. They just make way too much money, and the thing is, they can easily make that kind of money. Like, if they were to sell it for a big-ass price, they can make that kind of money in just a few years. So, if they were to sell it, it would have to be a ridiculous price, and nobody could afford that shit. So, but the thing is, it's too much of a cash cow, and that isn't happening. Like, as a Call of Duty community, we have our say, we have our fantasies about the game, like how we would make the game the perfect game or whatnot, and in a lot of ways, because of politics of money and everything in between, I mean, certain things just are not going to happen. Like, for instance, the whole microtransactions thing is not going anywhere. Right now, supply drops are getting pushed out, obviously, because it's becoming a legal issue, but there's always going to be different ways to where they can change it. They could just change the name, they can change the formula a little bit, but they'll find out ways of legally pickpocketing you some way, shape, or form. I mean, that's just the way business works. Maximize profits, minimal amount of money, yada, 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 right? So, I mean, there's just things that we're just going to have to kind of deal with, and it just won't change. It's certain things are just not going to happen. And that was my initial Call of Duty fantasy. I started rolling with it, man. I was like, man, what if these guys just sold Call of Duty? And the thing is, I wanted to let you guys in on it, not just because the channel is a hell of a lot more active now and people are responding and all that kind of stuff, but also one thing that was interesting, hypothetically, also, as I'm interested in your feedback, is also that, well, you got guys that make all sorts of different games, like even the guys that make Fortnite, Epic Games, like whenever they mess up, they'll post a tweet saying, oh, we're sorry, we heard your feedback, we fucked up, and we're doing this so-and-so to change it. Kind of like, I think it was Thunder that mentioned something like that. No, it wasn't Thunder, it was 8 Thoughts, I believe it was. It was either Thunder or 8 Thoughts that mentioned something like that. I'm pretty sure it was 8 Thoughts. Mentioned, posted the tweet that they put up. It's like, wow, it's like, yeah, it's like right now we're not getting those kind of tweets, especially if you look at Vaughn's last tweet about the VSAT or whatnot and the way he responded. It's like these guys will be like, oh, I'm sorry, we fucked up or whatnot, and we're working on it and stuff like that. They just sometimes you start to wonder. No wonder the Call of Duty community is kind of the way it is, because it's like, well, oh man. But anyway. Now, I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm not saying the entire community is all that bad, but there's, there could be, all I'm saying is there could be a little bit less toxicity in our community, right? I mean, we can, back in the day when it first started, I mean, granted, there's always toxicity no matter what. It's kind of like a job that you get, no matter where you work and no matter how happy you are, you're always going to have that one coworker or that one boss or that one person or whatnot that's just a complete asshole or whatever the deal is. And it just comes with the territory. I mean, there's, you can have a beautiful garden full of beautiful flowers and plants, stuff like that, but you're always going to have a few weeds here and there, so to speak, as as someone once put it to me. But the thing is, I also want to know is, like, you have all these other developers that make these different games, right? Like, for instance, take Game of the Year winner this year, Sony Santa Monica with God of War. And I actually tweet frequently to Corey Barlog, and he actually responds to me a good amount of times, believe it or not. And quite frankly, these guys, I mean, you could tell that these guys absolutely put their heart and soul in creating God of War for the last 5 years. And you can tell Corey had a unique vision. They put everything together. These guys really, like, legitimately work together as a team. There's a lot of heart and passion behind everything. And it's like, it makes you think a little bit. It's like, okay, like, here's another hypothetical thing that I want you guys to tell me or whatnot. Because you guys are very good at voicing your opinions and giving me your point of view on everything. Not even if we fully agree, we manage to respectfully disagree, which I absolutely love about the kind of communication I have with some of you guys in this channel. Because sometimes it's just like when people disagree, they're not mature enough to respectfully disagree. And I love the fact that we have a certain level of maturity here, which is fucking great. But the thing is, if you could choose, like, there's obviously, like, for instance, one of the things I've always talked about with my friends when it comes to comic book movies or whatnot, it's like, man, I wish the DC universe or whatnot got the same kind of treatment that what Kevin Feige did with Marvel or whatnot. Or sometimes I just basically said, hey, how about maybe if DC, the higher ups at DC, just put a big price tag on the whole DC universe and just sold it to Kevin Feige and Marvel, man. And I'm sure Kevin Feige would do something amazing with it, similar to what he's doing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but for DC. That would be freaking epic. As a fan, I think that'd be great. I'd be open to something like that. But the thing I wanted to ask you guys is, like, if hypothetically, if that were to happen, or if somebody else were to develop Call of Duty, right? Other than Treyarch, Infinity Ward, or Sledgehammer or whatnot, what team, in your perfect fantasy, in a translation to a Call of Duty first-person shooter, because I know guys like Sony Santa Monica, they don't make first-person shooter games. They make God of War, and that's what they do, right? But, like, just for fantasy's sake, if you could choose your favorite developer, your favorite passionate, hardworking, no bullshit developer, and put them on a project like Call of Duty to make it the best game it could possibly be, who would you choose? Which developer would you choose, and why? And even if you say Epic Games, the guys that are doing Fortnite, again, completely understand why, and it's not like my head hasn't gone towards that direction either. So anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. Please let everything be known down in the comment section below. I always welcome it, and I love it. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.